What's cracking, guys? Omar Isaf here, back with another video. In this video today, I want to talk about how to maintain your strength while you're losing weight. This is a very common question because, as you guys know, I am currently losing weight and I'm doing a pretty good job of maintaining my strength. And it wasn't always the case. I've done, several cuts, and what I would always find is that as the cut progresses, I just get weaker and weaker, and that affects how much muscle that you're able to maintain. As you guys know, there is a correlation between your strength and then how much muscle you have, because you have to give your body a reason to keep that muscle. Muscle is, from a metabolic standpoint, very costly, and so if you can keep your strength, if you can really challenge your body, it stands a higher chance at keeping that muscle mass. So keeping your strength is important to keep your muscle mass, and we all want to keep our gains, but there are several issues. You're eating less food, you have less energy, and so there's a high degree of likelihood that you will lose a little bit of muscle while you cut and a little bit of strength. So how do we prevent this? I'm going to give you my top 3 tips. Just recently today, actually, I hit, I guess you would call it a volume PR. I tied something that I would have hit had I not been cutting, but that just shows that I'm on the right path, because essentially even 14 pounds down, I'm pretty much the same strength level, and that's a good sign. It's a sign that the cut is going well. But I'm going to give you 3 tips, my top 3 tips right now, how to maintain your strength while you're trying to lose weight. My top tip would be to start with a smaller deficit, and here's why. The larger the deficit you have, it is true the more weight you'll lose, but also the less energy you'll have. And think about that. When you go into the gym, when you're trying to really, train hard, hit those numbers, if you're eating, less calories, less food, you have less energy in that workout, and you're not able then to train as hard. That's all it really boils down to. And so a common mistake that I used to make when I would have a specific goal, a date that I wanted to lean down towards, I wanted 12 weeks, I got this goal, gotta nail it, is I would start with a larger deficit, and then my strength would quickly diminish. If you're in this, if you're concerned about, maintaining your strength, you want to go through this long cut process, like I said before in that previous video, you want to start with a smaller deficit. So that's the first thing that you should do to set things up. My second tip, however, gets kind of interesting, and that is when you choose to consume a different amount of calories every single day. So you have unicaloric, which means that every single day you eat the exact same amount of calories, right? So let's say it's like 2,500. And then your other option is to cycle your calories. So that's commonly what you'll see carb cycling, they'll call it, right? Where you have a different amount of carbs every single day, and then probably what will happen to you have a different amount of calories. Here's one of the potential benefits. One of the potential benefits for you is that because you eat more food, hopefully on your training days, so when you break it down, let's say you train 4 days a week, so you have 3 days off, you would consume, these are rough approximations, but you consume probably like 2,700 calories on those training days, and then you consume around 2,200 calories on your non-training days. I already talked about weekly versus daily calories. I'll link that video in the description below, but essentially what it means is that as long as throughout the week you average around the same amount of calories as you would daily, the results would be practically the same. And so if you do something like carb cycling, where on the training days, the days that you really got to train hard, you got a huge squat session coming up, that's a day you're going to consume more calories. It makes sense, right? You want to have that fuel for that workout, for that day. Your energy needs to be high. On the other hand, when you're just chilling at home, maybe going for a walk, maybe playing Pokemon Go, that's not as important. On the day off, you don't have to consume as many calories. So you would then lower your carbs, you lower your total caloric intake, but your average would be the same as you're doing before. The benefit of cycling your calories is that you should feel like you have more energy on the days that you train. And so what I personally do, I have a higher carb day, I just recently started this, a higher carb day, a moderate carb day, and then a lower carb day. So days that I don't train, low carb day. Days where it's a decent amount of volume, I'm going to do something more like a moderate carb day, and then on a higher carb day are the days I'm really training hard. So like the days I do weightlifting coupled with a strength session. And in that way, on the days that I'm training very hard, I'm consuming more calories, I'm able to exert a little bit more effort. It feels better mentally, and that allows that mental edge that I have, feeling good, right? Having enough energy, having that mental energy will translate then to the amount of weight I lift, which then will translate to the amount of muscle that I keep. The third and final point I want to make is volume, and how you should slightly decrease it when you're trying to lose weight. Yes, it is true. You should be pushing your body as hard as possible when you're cutting. You got to give your body a reason to keep that muscle mass. But because you're in a deficit, you can only handle so much volume. because you're consuming fewer calories, you will be able to handle less volume. And this makes sense intuitively. You don't have as much energy at the gym to expend, so you shouldn't be training as much. But a big mistake, once again, and I've been guilty of this, is that you do the same amount of volume. So you just continue the same routine. And that can work for some people, but what you might experience is a wall. So you keep that same volume, but you're lowering your calories. You don't have as much energy. The amount of weight that you can lift in the gym is affected. And then slowly you kind of get tired, fatigued, burnt out, those kind of sensations while you're doing the cut. So you gotta manage your volume as you're managing your calories. It doesn't have to be a huge decrease in volume, and this is going to depend upon the individual, their training experience, where they are in their training career. But for me right now, roughly a 10% decrease versus when I'd be bulking seems to do the trick. It's not just about total training volume, it's also about the quality of that volume. You want to make sure that you're hitting the numbers that you're supposed to, so you will likely need to adjust your amount of volume that you do when you're trying to lose weight. Guys, that is the video. A lot of you have been asking me when it comes to trying to lose weight, because I'm doing that. I'm on this forever cut, how to maintain your strength. Those would be my top 3 tips that I've learned over time that hopefully will translate to you guys keeping all that strength, keeping as much muscle mass as you possibly can. That's the video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, you made it to the end of the video, what are you waiting for? Make sure to like the damn video, and I'll be seeing all you guys, my rascals, in that next video. Peace!
I have a quilt on my old queen bed, a haphazard bunch of patches, and each reminds me of a friend, also different yet not one clashes. Megan's that scrap of faded denim with sapphire buttons, a hint of satin. Judy's pewter velveteen, luxurious in tailored pleats. Bonita magenta, silk and lace, nothing ordinary or commonplace. And these friends make up my quilt, they keep me warm, they cover for me. We're pieced together without a pattern, frayed at the edges, but our pledge of love is the thread that holds together my girlfriend's quilt. I don't know what I'd do without them, patching me up when I come undone. They keep me in stitches, out of ditches. They fill my heart with love's sweet riches. Corley's antique tapestry, with golden threads like her guitar strings. Maxon's cashmere understated, soft and lush, uncomplicated. Anita exotic,